Yo, good morning. We are back. It's Guido with Coffee Talk, and we've got Pilgrim back. Good morning, Pilgrim.
Good morning, and here's Pilgrim on the correct side of the Atlantic with his Pilgrim, which are going in Guido's merch store, 50% off for the next 35 seconds.
Yeah,
So get one now while you can.
yeah. Theoretically,
Mm.
theoretically, I won't rage quit during Coffee Talk.
Those of you that didn't see it, we have a discussion point about rage quitting coming on later on. Please join in and feel free.
Feel free to
I've
rate.
got it clipped, by the way. It's a Twitch clip, and if anybody wants to see it, let me know.
I'm like, I am done.
There was a little bit more than that, but we won't go into it just yet.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, dude, that was. I try not to do that too much.
No, I get it. I understand it. I do understand it. And sometimes when you go, I need 5 minutes, I understand where that's coming from, or I need to go to the toilet or make a coffee or whatever. Because it's like, really, what you want to do is turn off the mic, go out there and kick well, you wouldn't kick the dog, but
No,
kick something,
kick the furniture.
and kick the furniture. Yeah. So I get it.
I don't know.
I
That
get
was
it.
a that was a tough session though. I was in the when I looked at the stats after. A lot of times you think you're having a bad day and you look at this, then you look at the stats like, well, it's not really that bad. I look at the stats and the bad. I'm like, nothing, nothing I'm doing matters. It's nothing's working. And as a matter of fact, it kept going the next day because I had another game, another session that was just like it basically the next day.
Oh, got you. All
Yeah,
right.
a lot of miserable Monday
Yeah.
material, but I didn't actually save much of it. It was a
Yeah.
weird 2 days, man. It was a weird two
Well,
days.
yeah, weird 2 days, and I guess, there's a million reasons why, and if you can put your finger on it, you wouldn't have bad days, would you? Because it'd be worked out, but
Yeah,
just you can't do anything about it, I guess. Yes, the French TDs were to blame. It was the post that was doing you in, buddy, I think.
it was everything, man. It was everything.
Oh, man,
And the
it's
stirves, the
crazy.
frickin' two stirves.
Yeah,
See, Wayne, that's the
yeah.
problem. That's the problem right there. I did not. A lot of times, even if I'm having a not great day, at least you're having a couple good games. I don't know if I had one game in that whole series that was good. I think, and
Wow.
then when I went to the town and nobody went there, and I got ran over, I'm like,
I
ah,
did feel a bit guilty about that, actually, because
yeah,
I was on the way to town with you, and then Zemke went, you're in a concrete. You need to be hulled down in the valley. I thought, yeah, that's a good point. And I went off. And by the time I got set up in the valley, I looked back and I thought, oh, he was on his own.
Well, I heard you
Did I
guys.
think at that point to come and help? No.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking. I wasn't didn't think much about it, and then I turned around. You guys were both in the valley. I'm like, why are you in the? I'm thinking, why the hell are they in the valley? And then they're like, hold down this. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll just go to the city and see if I can, hold on a
I
little
know.
bit.
I felt guilty for about a
I'm like,
nanosecond. I felt.
maybe I can hold on for a bit. But then they just rushed in there, and I got absolutely obliterated. I did, and once I got kind of close, I should have realized it was me and one other tank or two others. There was no reason. I should have. The problem with that map is if you just give up the city, you're really kind of screwed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I know that. I knew that. I knew that when I did. When I got to the valley, I just knew in the deepest part of my body, I was like, "This is wrong. We are not pushing this valley." It's different if you take 4 or 5 heavies and you push the valley,
Right.
and then you make the difference.
Yeah.
But if you just sit there, hold down, plinking away, it's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a low percentage play, and then, like you said, exactly, you have to have that to make it happen. Well, anyway, we are back, which is nice. Channel news. I don't know when my next stream is. I did get like three or so this week, which was cool to get back into it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll look for a day in here somewhere that we can do at least a couple hours in the afternoon or something like that. I'd really like to get it once or twice a week. Well, let's be realistic. Once a week and during the week. That's not a Sunday.
But yeah, I mean, you're holding the job down, aren't you? So you can't do.
Only
Not like one
just.
of these streamers who do 6 12-hour days on stream, are you?
Yeah, only just holding down a job, But
Yeah. Have you not
I,
heard about your retirement plan yet?
oh, God, I wish. I wish.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, how you been the last couple weeks? Any misadventures or?
Everything's been absolutely fine. Why? Why are you asking? Well, here we go. This
Yeah.
marvelous, fantastic vacation that was put together by yours truly in complete and utter secrecy for the 40th wedding anniversary down in Cornwall, her favourite place. Didn't go quite according to plan.
I mean, this was going to be the anniversary of anniversaries.
This was going to get me store credit for the rest of my life, effectively.
Yeah.
Not just for the next year, for the rest of my life. I would have been in credit. I had flowers. I mean, a big bunch of flowers waiting in the hotel room.
Nice.
Bottle of proper champagne on
right.
ice.
All right.
I had romantic dinners planned for 3 or 4 nights of the week. I had an open air theatre, the Minack Theatre down at Land's End, booked to go and watch a bit of Shakespeare. I had a whole day of girly pampering, not for me, but for her.
Yeah.
You know, the massagey, the naily, you know, all the things that girls do when they go to those strange places and get people
Yeah.
to work on them.
Yeah.
Right? I had a whole day of that booked for her. I had trips out booked. I had lots of hill walking because we like to get out in the hills and walk a little bit, you know, with the old
Yeah.
sticks and that. So yeah, I mean, we got down there on the when was it? The Saturday, and we booked in. It was the suite, so it was a living room, 2 bedrooms, ensuite bathroom, and a separate bathroom, and a hallway. It was all booked. It was, you know, really, really top notch, 5-star. Cost me this arm and this leg to pay for it all. Absolutely gleaming. You couldn't wish for better. Anniversary cake being made, ready for the first romantic dinner, everything. So we were there Saturday, Sunday. We did a bit of walking and everything else. Monday, we went out down to the local area, got some shellfish and all the rest of it, and we had a romantic dinner Monday. I figured this week's going well.
Yeah.
So the Tuesday was planned. Yeah, the Tuesday was planned for a little bit of water sport adventure, you know. And I'm a windsurfer. Okay, I'll reiterate. I'm a ex-windsurfer now. Because on the Tuesday, we decided to get down the beach. She was quite happy to sit on the deck chair in the sand with her ice cream, all that sort of good stuff. I went out on my surfboard, getting a bit choppy. So I thought, oh, I don't know what to do. I'll jig that in. So I jigged the surfboard back in, did my back in, popped it like a gun, fell into the water, struggling to swim. Good job I had a life vest on. They had to, the lifeguard had to get, the lifeguard had to rescue me. You know, arm and swimming and all that nonsense. So anyway, gets me back to the shore. I can't even stand. I am in absolute agony. What I've done is just pop my disc out. And the lifeguard went, "You're getting a bit old for this, Grandad." I went, "Yeah, if I could stand up, I'd be knocking you out now." And she's like, "What have you done?" I said, "I don't know." And that was it. I was bedridden for 3 days. Nothing happened. We didn't go anywhere. And as soon as I was walking wounded, I had to drive 9 hours home and take her home. She said, quote unquote, when we arrived back to the house, "I am never, ever going on holiday with you again." Period.
Now, has she backed off that at all?
No.
No.
She spoke to me yesterday. She said, before she went, she's away with the girls' weekend with my daughter. Before she went yesterday, she said, "I'm booking some time off for next year about the same time in July." And I went, "Oh, right, okay, then what, the first week of July?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, once I get into work, I'll do the same." She went, "No. No, you won't. No, you won't do the same. You can do what you like, but you're not having the week that I'm having off." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So, no credit. And I was walking wounded at work for the last 2 weeks. I've been on crutches. I'm just off them now, and I'm just off the tramadol, I'm just off the codeine, and I'm just off the diazepam. So I'm like almost lucid now.
Well, we
So
found
completely and utterly.
there was some CCTV apparently of you, so I've got that directly from England. This is Pilgrim's Wipeout right here.
It was almost as spectacular as that.
I think it was just you were trying to do too many tricks out there, man.
Well, yeah, possibly. But you know, like lifeguards have all got like, even if they're like blonde, they've all got dreadlocks, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So he'd come out to me. I think it was his first save this year. I don't think he'd been busy all year, so he's well pleased with it. But I mean, you know, the quote unquote, "You're getting too old for this, Grandad." I was like,
Midnight's got a good point. It is kind of a jumping the shark moment.
yeah, jumping the shark.
Oh man! Oh, I don't.
Oh,
I didn't.
man. So yeah, great vacation. Thank you. How was yours, Guido?
Mine was great. I didn't have anything quite as crazy, but yeah, we went to the beach and hung out and played. I learned how to play spike ball.
What, spike ball?
Yeah, it's got a little like round trampoline thing and kind of a soft rubber ball, and you hit it into the trampoline. It has to bounce once, and then the next team has to hit it, and it has to bounce. And it can't
Well,
hit.
that sounds better than it did initially. Spike ball sounded quite dangerous.
It's pretty. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty fun on the beach, actually. I quite enjoyed it. That was good. Yeah.
So you went to the beach and not Utah. You didn't go into the
Yeah,
mountains?
we went to New Jersey. To Jersey.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Jersey.
Ocean
Ooh.
City,
Did you-
a dry island.
Did you get questioned? You went to Jersey. Did you get questioned? You know, because you actually come from a beach.
We did. We did get some of that. So I wore some of my Gator shirts, and I think my daughter had some stuff, and she was talking to some kids or whatever, and they're, standard thing, where you from or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, we're up here from Florida," and they kind of looked at her like, "What are you doing here?"
You're from Florida, and you've come to Jersey Shore. Is that where it is, Jersey Shore?
Jersey Shore, yeah, Ocean City, Ocean City. It's a really cool town. It's dry, so you gotta go over the bridge into one of the towns, or north and south to one of the other beach towns. Atlantic City's just to the north, and Sea Isle.
Dry alcohol dry, you mean?
Dry alcohol dry, yeah.
So you can't even get a cold beer when you're on the beach.
You can't. Well, yeah. You're not supposed to have beer on the beach, but we took it down there anyway. Nobody really pays.
You rebel.
Yeah, as long as you're not flaunting it, you just put it in a koozie,
Sure.
and as long as you're not publicly stupid or whatever.
Right, but if you want to go out for an evening, you have to go across the bridge.
Yeah, they have restaurants there. There's just no drink. I think actually some of the
Okay.
places allow you to bring in your own. So if you want to bring a bottle of wine in, you can do that or whatever.
How do you feel about that then? How do you? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't necessarily care for it, but it's whatever. They live there, not me. There's permanent residents there, and I guess the story is 4 ministers bought it in like 1909 or something as kind of a retreat spot for doing
Okay.
religious retreats and things, and it was just a bunch of sand and I don't know how much of a village was there at the time, and
Right.
it became kind of it's on the beach, so it became a vacation destination. They just kept the dry part. So Ocean City's gig is families, basically. And my mom and her family went there when they were younger, and when we were younger, we all went there because if you got a bunch of kids, you don't care if there's booze or not. Plus, all you got to do is drive across the bridge because the whole place is ringed by liquor stores, like an outer fortification.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Yeah.
Just ring the whole place with look at the temptation.
Yeah.
Cross the bridge.
So you just I mean, it's literally a 5-minute drive, and you grab whatever you want, you bring it.
Right.
It's not
But
that
that's a
big a
nice.
deal.
Do you think that's quite a nice
Yeah,
idea?
yeah.
Because you can take your family without having technically lager louts falling over.
Well, that's
the
100%. So they've got a big.
Yeah.
There's a huge boardwalk, big, and all kinds of like arcades and food and games and all this stuff and little shops to buy all your tourist crap and T-shirts and shit
yeah.
like that. So,
Just do quick hats.
and there's probably people that have been drinking up there, but it's not just a ridiculous idiot
Yeah.
fest,
Yeah.
So all the
It
kids
tends to
there,
be.
the majority of the kids there, I would say, were like high school or younger.
All right, so they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not interested in going down
Right.
to the bars anyway. Are
So
they?
if you're 21 and whatever, you're going to Sea Isle down the south, and there's a couple other
Yeah.
towns, or you're going up to Atlantic City to gamble or whatever.
Oh, of course, it's 21 in the US, isn't it? It's 18 in the
Yeah,
UK, isn't
yeah.
it? So, yeah. So you would think you're a bit more responsible at 21, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
No.
theoretically.
Theoretically.
No, no
Di
Dicardi.
Dicardi, about 60 miles north of London.
All right.
Sorry, Green.
No, you're fine. Some of my family's from New Jersey, DeCardi. I actually grew up out in Utah, and I'm retired here in Florida right now. But
It's the
I'm
song of
only,
the mountain man.
yeah, I'm only really here at the moment because this was my last assignment, and my wife had a job. She has a job she loves here, so we kind of stayed for the moment. So we'll see. I
You
wouldn't.
had chosen to settle in Florida
It's not bad.
without the job being there.
I don't know. It's a great good question, and I don't know the answer to that. It's certainly not a bad place. It was a great place for raising the kids. They're both in college now, so we're sort of in that. Once they graduate from college, then that's a decision point where we can go. Okay, now we can maybe go do something else or go somewhere else. But I also now have a good
Yeah.
job here, at the same base I
Yeah.
retired from, so that's not really replaceable easily.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Do you know? Do you know? I know you do training. You're a trainer. You're an instructor. Sorry.
yeah.
Do you not do you not fly anymore yourself?
No.
Physically in any plane of any sort, Cessna or nothing.
No.
You don't do any. Nothing.
No, not really
I
interested.
guess it's a busman's holiday, isn't it? If you know, it's not a hobby, is it? Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm not a huge fan of general aviation for myself. I mean, I'm fine whatever
Okay.
you want to do it or enjoy yourself, but I don't know. I just single engine light aircraft. I don't know who's
Doesn't compare, does it?
I don't know who's maintaining them. Yeah, no ejection seat. I don't know. Well, it's funny you asked
Jump
that.
out the door.
I got a friend a couple blocks away lives down the water. He's an airline pilot, and I don't even know if they even had any kids. I don't think they did. He and her didn't have kids, and he did a career and then got out and went straight to the airline. So he's doing quite well. He got a nice house on the water. He's got one of these pits. It's not a Pitts. I can't remember which one. It's a little acro biplane. It's not a Pitts. I can't remember what the other one is that's quite popular. And yesterday he's up there flailing around over the bay, doing loops and all kinds of stuff. And I'm just looking like, dude, what are you?
Yeah. Land it, will you?
You're 50-something years old, man. What are you doing up there, man?
Well, I guess you see, you've got people here because I'm close to Duxford. You've got, I mean, proper old guys. We're talking in their 70s, flying,
Yeah.
Second World War aircraft
Yeah.
everywhere. And it's almost every day you see the Spitfire flying around and the Hurricane. And I guess if you've got the money and you own a Spitfire, which is the best part of £1 million to actually own one, then you're going to fly it, aren't you? But you couldn't in a Spitfire. You wouldn't fit in.
Yeah. Well, I've sat in
Drive it
one.
with your knees.
I've sat in one. It's a tight fit.
Yeah, I'll bet it is.
Yeah.
I bet you're like head and shoulders out of the canopy.
Yeah, when you look at I would be like this probably, scrunched down a little bit. I would probably have once I slid the canopy over, I would be down in that thing a little bit. I do sort of look like in a child's little toy when I'm sitting in it.
Child's toy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Yep.
Well, what are we doing about? I'm glad you had a good vacation. Anyway.
Yeah, man, it was great. I had a good, and then
Yeah.
the last week was staycation, which was why I was able to stream and stuff. But so yesterday I go out to the yard. I'm getting my workout in after walking the dog, and I look out the yard. I'm like, shit, it's Saturday. Why doesn't it look like the sprinklers went on? Like, what the hell? So well, maybe we had people house sit. I'm like, I don't know why they would touch it. Maybe they turned it off. So I go around the house. I open up the thing. I'm like, I got nothing on the screen. I'm like, what the hell? So unplug, replug, mess with stuff, nothing. Get out grab another electrical thing, pull that out, plug it into the plug. Nope, there's power to the plug. Then I go get my little tester guy. Got one of these dudes.
Yeah.
So it's power into the AC adapter, and
Yeah.
power into the strip going into the control box, into the control head. But the stupid thing just died on me.
So, well, there's an activation box of some sort, or
Yeah, it's a control head, and then it hooks up
and
through
that's
wires.
what's not working.
Yeah, it's just the whole. There's nothing on the screen, so
Man,
it just.
you don't. Do you know what? You should remove all electrical items from your house and live like it's the Stone Age, because you have no joy with electric.
You are
Like,
not
I
even
can see
kidding,
it.
dude. You are not even kidding. That is 3-year-old electrical piece of thing just died.
Man, you'd have no luck with electrics.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I don't know. Maybe it got zapped by a. Although you would think if it got zapped by a lightning strike or something, I'd have more issues in the house, and I don't really have any other
You
issues.
don't.
Yeah, the box
Do you think it's? Do you think the humidity does anything about the electric?
could very well be. It advertised itself as not an outdoor, although the box is pretty closed up. But it's very possible between the rain and humidity that it got into the circuit board and just nuked it.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I may have to buy a cover to put the box in, which sort of driving me crazy because I don't really want to do that.
No, but it's like everything, isn't it? I've got animal scarers outside. I've got they're acoustic. They're little ultrasonic boxes, which if a cat walks past, it zaps them with a ultrasonic sound and it keeps them out, which is quite successful. But because they're not what do you call it, waterproof 100%, I've had to exactly that, buy a box to put over their door, But I noticed that one of them started to rust around these seals, so I've ended up having to put boxes over all 3 of them. Yeah.
Cliffy, it sort of is. I mean, it's in a plastic box, and it does have a rubber seal around the edge where it opens and closes. But I remember reading on the side of it, it was advertised as one for inside, like a garage or whatever. I don't remember how it said it, but it wasn't. They had another one that was a little more robust that's advertised to be an outside control head, because a lot of people will put them inside their garage, and then the wire will go down to their manifold. Well, my manifold's on one side of the house, and that thing's on the other. Actually, I probably could put it over there. I'd have to dig out where the stupid wires are, though. This is getting into a long story. Eventually, we'll talk about tanks. I remember I had to get the new pump. Pilgrim had to do that whole rigmarole.
That's
my
right. Yeah,
well pump
that
died.
was like
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, once I dug all that stuff and got everything out of the way so he could dig the new hole, I took out an old fence that was around it. It was a decorative thing, a bunch of crap, and I found, which had been completely covered up with weeds and stuff, where the manifold is. It's basically a hole dug with a plastic thing around it, and it's got a lid, and you pull it out, and down there is the manifold. I opened that up and I looked in there and I just closed it. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to ignore that because it's ancient, and there's the wires are. I'm like, I don't even want to think about what's going on in that manifold. So, long story short, if I start backtracking the wires, I just know at some point I'm going to disturb something, and then the whole damn system is going to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like everything in it. It's like talking about planned obsolescence and all the rest of it. You just don't know these days with what we get. I mean, back in the day, we used to get quality things. Isn't this old man's talk? But you did get quality things that would last forever. I was only talking to the House General the other day. I've got 2 pairs of Slazenger. There are other shorts out there, but Slazenger shorts, which I've had for no less than 17 years. Still good quality, still working, still, entirely functional. I bought another pair about a month ago that have split down the seams. Now, it could be that my ass has got too big.
Could be.
But 2 pairs of shorts last 17 years, and the new pair lasted me a week.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
the tanks.
I don't know. Maybe
maybe
what was I trying to say? The last one that I had, the box, was probably, I bet it was 30 years old, because it was just all the gears. It wasn't digital. And when you open it up, you're like, whoa! Like there was a serious amount of freaking engineering going on that thing. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they do it with engines, Guido. They do it. Again, I'm not touting any brand here, but with Hondas, for example, they're over-engineered. I used to race amateur 600 motorcycles, and I used to race a Honda CBR 600 in my spare time from when I was in the army. Bless. And I always used Honda because they were over-engineered. They had shims instead of chains and all that sort of good stuff, and everything was over-engineered. So there are brands out there that technically over-engineer, but actually it makes it a lot more survivable. Especially when it's moving parts.
Yeah. Is this more or less what happened?
Yeah, that was about it. Yeah. What happened was I underhand hold on the bar, on the tiller, on the the
Yeah,
side
I see. You got a hold of it right there, and then you just got away from you.
yeah. And I went, and as I did exactly that, as I did the jig, a wave hit, and it just went up, and I just like twisted my back because I then went that direction while the board and the sail and my arms went that direction, and it just went. You can actually hear the audible crack, and I was like, "Oh bloody hell, I've broken something."
On this particular one I'm watching, I like how the board just yeets complete. I mean, it just goes. It sails. All right.
It's gone.
All right. Let's I don't know, tanks or something. Let's see. We'll continue to cover the misadventures of the last 2 weeks.
Cool.
Actually, I have another thing, but we'll save that for later. 100 Battle Challenge, guys. Right. I am working on the FV201, Chrysler K, Foch B, Iron Arnie, Sturva 81, and Rack 501. I've also got the Char MLE in there, and the BZ. I have a lot in there now, quite a few of them. Those are all going fine.
On purpose to try and get it out of the way, or is it?
I got kind of tired of just doing 2 or 3, so I wanted to expand it to a few more tanks. I wanted to make sure. I wanted something from tier 7 to 10 so I could kind of play whatever. I'd love 6 to 10, but the G-Row is the only tier 6 I haven't finished, and it's already maxed out for Battle Pass points. Speaking of that, what did you do with Battle Pass?
Well, I'm only on like the first chapter 9 because, to be honest, I've not played. I've played maybe 6 times in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because I've been walking wounded and all the rest of it. Where are you at?
Well, so you didn't switch over to the Mara Pass?
No.
Okay.
No.
How about you guys? How's everybody doing? I'm at 18 out of 50. I didn't realize this, but they made it a 50 stage. Remember the first ones were 30 or 40 stages?
Yeah, that's right. 35 stages or something.
This is a full 50 stages to get to the 56 TP.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's like, wow, dude.
Yeah, that's like huge, isn't it? Do I want another one of those? No, I don't. So it doesn't interest me anymore.
Diablo.
It's now a background thing for me.
Diablo grabbed the slider and went. Zzz.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't even bother to do any of the stages. You just.
I just pay for them. I want it. If I want anything there, I might just stop. I can't be bothered with that. It's a background thing. It's like all missions to me. It's just background noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like pigeons.
Oh, Diablo's got 300,000. Oh, is that all from tournaments and whatever? Yeah, shoot, of course. Yeah, if you got 300,000 gold, you might as well. What's the point?
Yeah.
Odd Dog, 37 on 2, did not mess with the 4th. Yeah, so I'm doing the same thing, basically. Remember, guys, today's the last day. So if you're planning on sliding the bar or finishing it, today's the day. Technically, it's tomorrow, but it's like 6 a.m. So, forewarned is forearmed.
Indeed.
So I might play a little bit today, see if I can crank out 1 or 2 more levels, and then I'm going to slide the bar and grab that thing. So that's where I am on that, dude. Next stream, like I said, I'm not sure. Hopefully sometime this week we'll try to figure it out. And I think that's it for channel news, man. But you got anything else, Pilgrim?
No, I mean we've had the updates and everything, I guess, and that hasn't impacted any greatly on the channel, has it? So
no.
I don't even think it's impacting on the game too much, but we'll see.
Well, I mean, you got that new Skoda T56 thing out. I haven't really looked at that, so I don't know much about it. I've seen a few in battle. There looks like Stickler's on 23. I will say it's not worth sliding the bar. You're not missing anything. Yeah, I sort of figured, but the old gotta catch 'em all thing, and plus I'm still running on Wargaming's Gold, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, and you're a collector, aren't you? So you won't.
Yeah. Although that's certainly slowing down. That's a whole other subject. Gator did the old get 6s right up to the top. We did discuss that when we heard that there was going to be a Mara Pass in here.
Yeah.
That if you really want to game, it's not gaming the system. If you wanted to set yourself up for the fastest journey through it, I guess you would take your 6s right up to the limit, and then once it started, you'd pop them over 100, and you'd get that 15% bonus on as many sixes as possible, and that would definitely turbocharge, because of every 3 of those or so you did would be a whole, what do they call it? I always forget the word.
Thing.
Phase.
Phase.
No. Stage.
Yeah.
Stage.
Guns
Now-
with S.
No, there's some good stuff here. It's all the same stuff. You got equipment, you've got bonds, you've got silver books, which, by the way, maybe a little late at this point because it should be out in the near future, but still, you should probably, if you're thinking about getting the British wheeled mediums, is you should be grabbing British books, UK books. I'll spit it out. So that if you make a new crew,
Not
you
UK
can.
bushes, Guido.
No,
Books.
not UK bushes. So when it comes out, you can build crews. Yeah, you can build your new crews
Yeah,
with the
got ya.
books.
Got ya. Yeah.
So there you
Good
go. on
idea.
that.
Good idea. After I've just bought Chinese, not bought, but selected Chinese. Shit. Oh, never mind.
Why did we do that? What was that? TDs? What was the Chinese thing? It was something just came out.
Yeah, I haven't really been grinding anything on the Chinese side, other than the lights. I've got the lights. I like the lights on the Chinese side, but I wanted to go down the BZ route because I'm only at tier 8, so I grabbed a load of books.
Rocket tanks. That was it. The rocket tanks.
The rocket tanks. Yeah.
So Gator
They haven't
says,
destroyed the game, have they?
"See now I'm having flashbacks
Yeah.
because that was
PTSD.
That was one of the big reasons. Dude, I will tell you, yesterday I'm playing and some of the same crap's going on. I got nuked. I don't know why it's... So a couple weeks ago, before vacation, it was FVs were blowing me up constantly. Now it's BZs. Every time I turn around, I'm getting nuked by a BZ and some crazy snap. And it's amazing. I was taking on a Scorpion in my 58-2
Right.
here, and kind of poking around a corner on the Pearl River map. I was up in the top. He was up in the top little village, and I was behind on the other little alley. And I was poking out frontally, and there was a destructible building he was hiding behind, kind of trying to keep me from shooting. So I'm sitting there aiming, and I see him come out. He just drives backwards, fires, and just pins me, and I miss.
Yeah.
So then I back out. I'm like, great. So I do the baiting thing a little bit. I'm able to actually get out and get aimed in again before he comes out. I'm like, well, I can either shoot down the building, in which case he'll probably run off, and I won't get a shell reload in time to catch him anyway. So I'll wait. Well, he pops out again backwards. I shoot. I hit him that time, but he snaps me again.
Yeah.
And the bloom on a moving Scorpion
on the move.
Scorpion is the
the
size of Mars, and it's just like.
Yeah, it's like throwing rocks in a dustbin, isn't it?
But that's this game, man. That's this game. It's completely.
I mean, at the point of your rage quit, we discussed very quickly in the 3 seconds we had that the balance has gone completely from this game.
Yeah.
The way it is now, balance has gone. What balance? I don't think there was balance, but anyway.
Yeah, I did rage about that a little bit. All right, cool. Let's go to missions and specials anyway. We since I've been so negative with wargaming, I've got to sell.
Let's see what we can sell. Today.
I gotta sell some stuff now so I can get in their good graces, or something.
Or something, yeah.
Or something. All right, where is this? So I did take a troll through the premium shop. One thing I did want to do is make sure, guys, while we're here on missions and specials. Stop it, dumb thing. Is it doing that? Okay, that's irritating. Here is the link. So go there and check out your treasure trove stuff. Last thing I got was a 2D style. So you've got the daily missions, the things I can do. I can still invite a friend. And I don't know what the person has. Do you just invite and that's it? Or do they have to actually accept? I don't know. Player, you must invite a player. Oh, it must complete one stage. Okay, there you go.
All right.
You can buy the treasure trove bundle. There's also the weekly stuff, which I've interestingly done a whole bunch of. So spend 11,000, play 10 battles. Anyway, go to that link and make sure you don't have a couple freebies in there. Play 3 battles just for midnight. I can't research a new tier 5 because I don't have any to research. I'm not adding a new bank card as a payment method. That one drives me crazy. Upgrade to my account. This means you have to buy it, I guess, because I've won days, and so winning days doesn't do it. Change your password. Actually, I probably should do that. That's not a bad one, actually. So there you go. There's that. Now, that being said, here on gold, this is actually one of the things you can do to get one of the little keys, and it is a bonus on gold. If for some reason, you know, mid-year here, you can't wait for Christmas to do the boxes, or Thanksgiving or Halloween, or however many boxes we have coming up, 5%, 10%, or 15%, you get a better deal as you buy more, obviously. So I don't know, gold isn't always discounted, so there you go.
No, I mean, I've got a coupon, 15%, which unusually is for almost everything in the shop, with the exception of anything that is already on sale. Not on sale, but discounted. So I can actually get gold and apply a 15% discount voucher to it if I wanted to, which is cool.
Sly
I've not
Rascal.
seen that before.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I've not seen that before.
Sly Rascal says he bought one day. That's one way to do it. That's one way to do it. Now that's a great deal if you end up getting the premium out of it, but otherwise you're probably just getting the one of the min run things. I've got a couple of the styles and PRs and stuff like that. I haven't got anybody got anything good out of it. Somebody I thought said they got a tank.
Oh,
I
okay,
don't
that's
remember.
interesting.
Somebody said that from what I remember. All right, Arn Arnie is in here in the shop again. I guess it's his birthday. You should have got just from logging in. We'll look at it in just a minute. I'm like, this is one of the best login deals these guys have ever done. Like this reward for just logging in for Arnold's birthday is better than a lot of mission sets they have. But I like this because they actually changed the order. They got the cheapest one first, and then the expense goes up. I think that's actually the right way to do that.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, exactly that. I
Semi.
don't think there was any rhyme or reason. It was all over the place before, wasn't
It
it?
was, and they seem to be together. And they've, in this case, somebody has ordered it from lowest to highest, which I think is like, that's the reasonable man way to do it.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. It just that seems like the right way to do it.
Yeah.
We'll
It
see how.
seems logical, doesn't it? It
Yeah.
seems like, it just feels right.
Yeah,
Like somebody gives a shit.
well, and definitely in that case, it seems logical and like somebody cares. Also, in terms of, for me, just the player-facing piece of it, it just feels better that they put the cheap one first, and then the more expensive ones go up, and they're all together, and like, hey, here's just the tank. Oh, by the way, if you want some extra goodies, here's these things. As opposed to, here's this super expensive package, dig down somewhere else to find the cheaper one.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit cheesy, isn't it?
So the 1357's back in the shop, as is the LT432, which is one of the number one tier 8 light tanks, along with the FL and the ELC even 90. Different play style. This thing is kind of a pocket medium, but is passing as a scout. Although it's at the top of the tier 8 scout, so it does fine as a scout, from what I can tell.
Yeah. Well, all those variants do, don't they?
Yeah.
Really, all the sort of because there's more than one variant of that type of tank, isn't there? But they all do well.
The T-34-3 is in there, and then the Schmaltrum, which is whatever, it's a tier 5 or 6, I guess. What is it? 6, I think. Some other goodies in here. Birthday. There is the World of Tanks birthday coming up in August, guys. There's a tank rumored to be the reward tank, or the gift tank, a tier 5 French light tank. That's the gold thing we talked about. Specials are all the same. Nothing big new that we didn't see here other than these big packages of tanks. So nothing there. Battle Pass, and then off to vehicles. These are all pretty much the same thing right here. Nothing else to add. So 432 is good if you don't have one. 1357 is a monster. Iron Arnie's pretty good. Medium tank. There you go.
Yeah.
Grab a
I
load.
think you've recovered quite well there, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I'm on 18.
Nine.
Grab a
I'm on
load.
9.
But I'm on. Where am I on? I'm actually on the third chapter. Can I see that somehow? Or do I have to pretend I want to change it? All chapters, there we go. Yeah, so I have finished. How do you tell if you... Oh, there we go. I finished these two, and I'm on 27. You can't see it's behind my camera, but I'm on 27 for the third one, and I'm on 18 for the Battle Pass, or for the Mara Pass one. So
I mean, yeah.
Once I slide that slider later today, then I'll be back to the... I'll finish it easily, because you have one more month. This goes to the end of August.
5th of September. 5th of September.
Oh, is it actually 5th of September? There you go.
Yeah.
Really? I thought it was...
No, I'm sure it's the 5th.
Probably.
Let me have a look.
Probably. It doesn't say here. That sounds about right. Today's the last day for the marathon part, Gravelo. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But the larger battle pass goes...
5th of September.
What the heck? Oh, that's pretty funny. I think I've been playing this tank. I think I played this tank without any consumables other than the permanent one. That's funny. Because I hadn't clicked on it. Jeez.
Oh, man.
Idiot!
Which one's that? Not the Fox B, not the...
No, the BZ58-2, which is just kind of a heavy, just a heavy, no rockets, red glare on that one. All right, Arnold goodies.
No good.
Arnold goodies. I thought that was interesting, actually, that they had. You just logged in and you got all this stuff. You had a day of premium and ×5s, a bunch of cola repair kits, directives, personal reserves. I mean, that's all from just logging in. Maybe you had to play a game. I don't know. That's crazy.
It's nice when you get something like that, because it's something for nothing, isn't it? So it's nice. Thank you, Wargaming. You know?
Yeah, it also seems sort of random. I mean, yeah, okay, it's Arnold's birthday, but this is. I love reading the write-ups. For the past 2 years, we've been extremely lucky to team up with one of the most outstanding figures to ever live.
It's on par with like Oppenheimer and Gandhi and no.
I just love the terminal outstanding figures. That is just not. That's not something a native English speaking person would write.
No.
Outstanding figures.
You can't compare Arnie with of all time, an outstanding figure of all time. There's not. When I think of outstanding figures of all time, Arnie doesn't stand out at all.
What's the term figure for me? I'm like, what on earth? Why would you even use that? Great actor. I don't know, something. It's weird terminology to me, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's 76. 76. I went to an 80-year-old's birthday yesterday.
Did you know?
And he was as spry and lively as any 60-year-old I've ever met. I'm like, man, if I am doing as well as you at 80, I'm going to be pretty dang happy.
I think there's a theory in this. This could be a pilgrinomic theory.
Yeah.
I think if you can get through your 60s, then you get a second lease of life and you can push it out to your late 80s or further. I think how do I base this? What I base this on is that
you want to live.
Well, yeah, there is that. I mean, whatever, but I base it on the fact that I have friends my age and slightly older, and I have known figures in my formative years you know, or like the musicians or the film actors and all this sort of
Yeah,
thing. They're all dying. They're all 67 and dying. You know?
yeah, yeah.
So I'm figuring out if I can push past my 60s, I'm laughing. I've got this. I've absolutely got this. So I've got to survive my 60s, and then I'm up to 100.
Well, I'll tell you this: if you survive your 60s and get to 70, you've made it to 70
Exactly. Without windsurfing.
without windsurfing.
Yeah.
Well, my aunt and uncle that were at the beach with us are both extremely good, and just for their age, because they're in their low 80s, high 70s. My mom's age. My mom, because of all her back surgery and stuff, is has limited mobility, and that's just a killer, man. Once you get that limited mobility
Yeah.
thing, and you're
Yeah.
unable or unwilling to sort of, I guess I'm going to say work out, 'cause people just get frustrated
Or
because
just be active, to be physically
there you go,
active.
be active,
Yeah.
be active,
Yeah.
because it's hard
Yeah.
to do so. That's just
Yeah.
you just start downward,
In the smallest sense of that, having those 2 weeks on crutches, it was an absolute nightmare because it was painful to do anything. You didn't do anything,
Right,
so you just festered,
Yeah.
waiting for the right time to
Yep.
get up or to.
Yeah.
I mean, even coughing. If I coughed or sneezed, it would spasm, and I was like in tears. I was like, "This is shit. If I get this bad at some point in my life, then," I said to the house owner, "You have permission to shoot me, stick me in a black plastic bag, and send me down the river because I don't want to live like this." You know what I mean?
in
So
a,
yeah, it's important to stay active, isn't
in a
it?
flaming Viking longboat,
Yes, put me in a.
Viking funeral. No, but it's a good
Yeah.
point, man. It's a good point. Like, because you had a reasonable expectation you'd get back to mobility and being able to do whatever. That was
Yes.
ideally
What a-
that was a temporary thing. But if you're facing that, and that's all you got, that's a much more difficult,
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to try and stay positive with that. That's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
As an aside, we're talking about death and funerals and things like that.
Oh boy.
Well, this is written in my will, right? This is going to be cool if it happens, and I wish I was here to see it happen, right? It can't happen unless I'm not here to see it happen, but I really do wish I was here to see it happen, if you see what I mean. I'll explain what it is. I want to get cremated, right, when I'm dead and done. And I've left instructions for my son to get me cremated and to put me into a small china urn, right, about this big, not much bigger than a pilgrim mug, right, with a Liverpool Football Club badge on one side, right, and then a pair of eyes painted on the opposite side of the urn. And then I want the urn put in the front room on the coffee table with the eyes facing the house general. So I'm watching her everywhere she goes. I would so love that, man. That would be awesome.
Well, not for nothing, and not to insult you, but if that was the direction I was given and I was dealing with something like that, I'm telling you right now that would not happen. Actually, it would happen.
Some things is fantastic.
It would happen. It would happen for maybe a day, and then I would consider that last wish taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she knows about it because she said basically, apart from the fact she's never going on holiday with me again, she said, "I'm taking your ashes and chucking them into the bin."
Odd Dog's got a good one. He sends you down the river in a flaming windsurf.
Flaming wind, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'd go with that. Yeah.
The little urn sitting on it and the googly eyes.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man.
Hey guys, the YouTube thing they got going on, they have combined their YouTube channel, and I didn't realize I hadn't subbed. If you go to it, so they're giving away a bunch of stuff. These are codes. The problem with it, they are codes that are on the video, and you really got to get there early to get them. They are putting a lot of codes out, but I tried the 3 from before, and they've all been used up. So I'm not even going to give it to you because it doesn't matter at this point. But that being said, if they get to 420,000, let's go look at it here. So there's the
I'm
channel.
not sure if I've subscribed to that. Hang on.
You probably haven't because it's a new channel basically that's combined.
Right, I'm going to text.
So if you go there, then you can click on their sub button and subscribe. Yeah, and so they're at 414. 420 is the break point. Where's their list? It's here somewhere. Everything has to be frickin' difficult with them. There it is. So they're at 400. So theoretically, there's going to be a code for Ice Shelf 2D style in their next video. And then once they hit 420, this might be the one you're looking for. It's only 500 though, so you're going to have to be early and fast. But it's a 50 TP prototype, potentially only 500 of those and 100,000 days of watt premium. Frankly,
you have to subscribe for this. You don't get it if just for following, do you?
You know what? You don't actually, because the code just gets put into the video, and then you just put the code in the standard code spot on the web page, and so you wouldn't have to. But if you want to help push them to the point where the codes come out, then you would subscribe.
Yeah, got you. All right.
Also, I think you get a key for that, right?
Yeah.
Is that part? I don't remember if that's part of the. I think that was one of the things that give you a key.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, the ice shelf's already done? Really? Interesting. So that must have been. Where's the dumb thing? If you go videos, the best way to do this to find out what the latest video is to click on video. So that was in one of. Oh, there you go. Let's merge code 4. All right, so it's right there. It's actually spelled out. Codes 1, 2, and 3. Code, yeah. So really, there's only one code left, and they haven't gone over the limit yet. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean they've got a pinned message on there, haven't they, that says the redeemable bonus code will be released in our next videos.
Yeah.
Stated. Do you know what's sad about that?
Yeah, Tankcraft. That's a good point right there. There isn't a sample one that doesn't do anything, but there were codes on whatever it is, the leak page, Armored Patrol, but all of those are done. None of them are any good. Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
I'm just going to say we both agree that Commander AF feels a little bit awkward with this transition and having to deal with the EU and being part of the EU setup now. And now the latest iteration of that nonsense is they've got her talking in different languages, which I'm sure she doesn't really want to do. She's shouting out good morning in German, all sorts of bloody nonsense, you know what I mean? I mean, we used to be part of Europe, and I refuse staunchly to speak any of those stupid languages. I speak English or nothing at all, sir.
We need to get you a separate channel called the Angry Brit.
We do.
The subtitle. With the subtitle, I'm not European.
Yes, I am not European. Not in a million years.
Not in a million years, you.
Not in a million years, no.
All right, what else is going on? Missions and specials. So YouTube milestones we covered. Treasure trove, we showed you that. The token store is back up. I'm sure most of you know that by now, but if you don't, realize you can go in here once again, click on the parachute, go to your token store. They did rework this a bit. There's some different tanks and things in here now. I've just been grabbing the consumables packs. They have a couple styles and stuff. And there you have it on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never getting the reason why I don't get enough tokens is I don't play enough. But so I've only got 5 tokens, which gets me the sum total of absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Sum total of jack squat. Wayne, you hit it. You did get the 3 questions. Well done.
There you are. Look at that, windsurfing. It was always the missing answer, Wayne. Windsurfing. You've now got it.
Missions wise, you got the token store stuff as you watch the stream. So they've got various Twitch campaigns going on. I missed out on the Million Pugs thing. I didn't watch it. I kept setting it up and then walking away, and then I'm like, oh, I got to leave. I'd come in and I'd turn the computer off and completely forget I had it on purpose so I could get the Million Pugs stuff. So I don't know. Did anybody get anything good from Million Pugs? Zemke, how you doing, man? So Token Store, Watts Salute, Battle Pass. Yeah, the two top of the tiers are Type 5 and Leopard. Then this mission right here is for the, what is it? That 56 TP. Now how is
Right.
that different than the other? Is the other one
I
a
just think it,
T56?
yeah. I don't know. Is it just a skin?
They're Polish,
No.
right? 50. Oh, that's a 50 TP. All right. The other one's a 56 TP. Copy. All right. It's hard to keep track of all these numbers, man.
I don't anymore.
All these tanks. Maripass. All right, I think that's it for missions and specials, man. Did you have anything else to add to that?
No, I think we've covered everything there. I'm just going back and looking at the treasure trove because I don't believe I've opened it. Yes, I have. I've actually opened it. Yeah.
Do you have any
Sorry, I
keys? Do
didn't
you have any keys left?
Yeah, I've got all 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are different keys, though. Those are
Oh, they just. Mm-hmm.
we give out many sundry keys, tokens, coins, bit things, stuff, unlockable things. All right, that's an hour. We're going to take a 5-minute break and come back with
Thank goodness
subjects.
for that.
Yeah, because I got to pee. All right, we'll be back. 5 minutes.
Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Now in the shadows came a mysterious chap who spoke in a tongue with strange dialect. He offered his help to the mighty Guido to bring some laughter to his love of speedos. To the coffee talk they both came to bring the message of winning ways to all and sundry and the masses. Yes, that's right, lads and lasses. The damage counts and flexing back will keep you on the right track. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. So in what, if you want to progress, then seek out Guido nonetheless. With his sidekick Pilgrim, he has a message that to win you must be aggressive. The position and place that you must seek, for the winners only, not the weak. The guru speaks, so listen well. His voice rings out like the Liberty Bell to bring you all to Unicom land, or to die hard trying in the sand. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. To the swamplands came the mountain man to teach his wisdom and pay his due. A man with a name only known to a few. To his followers his words are true. Guido is the man, big and gruff. He used to fly jets, but now he does the tanking stuff.
Okay, fellas, we're back. So another story time for you, Pilgrim.
Oh,
All right, so daughter's a full-time student, as retired military, you have what's called TRICARE, it's healthcare.
Yep.
Your kids are covered up to a certain point. 21 is one of the break points. At 21, at 21 years old, if you're still a full-time student, you're still covered until you're not a full-time student.
Got you.
But they cancel your TRICARE at 21 until you redo the stuff. So
Irrespective.
yeah, and you have to
Cancel
get
it,
an ID card as well.
Yeah.
It's sort of a temporary one. It actually goes from that point till your graduation date. So
Yeah.
I get all the details on how it has to be done. She calls the school. They're like, "Yeah, you go on the webpage, you download this piece of paper that says you're a student, proof of enrollment thing." I'm like, great. So we do that. I think it is 23 Gator if you continue on. So if she went to grad school, I think she would be able to go to 23. And it's there's a couple different weird levels, and then you can actually have them on, I think, to 25 or 27. But it's young adult TRICARE or some crazy thing. Anyway, in this case, we needed a piece of paper to take to the Pass and ID guys so they could update what's called DEERS, and then put in that she's a full-time student.
Yeah.
What I failed to realize is they need the graduation date on the paper, and the automatic one, I didn't look at it too closely. The automatic one didn't have that on it, which I don't understand why, because people need that. So we get down there. And we hand them the piece of paper. She's looking at it, and I could tell by the way she was a Navy enlisted. I could tell by the way she was kind of looking at crossways that we were going to have a problem, because it wasn't, She goes, "Well, it says here she's only enrolled till August 11th because she's enrolled in the summer, because she did a summer class, which only goes to August 11th, and then it starts with fall from August 11th." And I'm like, great. She goes, "So we need a thing that says when she's enrolled to." I said, "Well, we can pull it up on the webpage on the phone. We can show you her grad dates right there." She's like, "No, it has to be a letter." So I'm like, "Oh, I freaking knew it."
Really? In this day and age, it has to be physical.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it gets better. This is why I'm telling the story. And she keeps typing. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we'll have to make a new appointment. And she's like, "No, I'll make her an ID till August 11th.
Right. Well, that is absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers, isn't it? Good grief. Like, things are going to change after August the 11th.
Dude, we went through the whole rigmarole, which is a fast process, but still, the whole thing, took the picture, did all the updates, and gave her, so she has a 2-week ID. And then we had to make another appointment for next week.
I think that she grows another head, or she changes species to a dinosaur, so you need to do it all over again.
It is such a classic bureaucratic. You know what I mean? It's just
Madness.
it's just never flexible enough to work around some of the weirdness of stuff.
You would think. Forgive me for being naive, but you would think that anybody of a right mind would say, "In 2 weeks' time, you don't have to do it all again. We'll just renew it for whatever length of time it is, because nothing will have changed in 2 weeks."
Yeah.
She's
Brute.
not going to turn into a Brit all of a sudden.
Yeah. I mean, Brute knows exactly what I'm talking about. He deals with this stuff too. Fortunately, dude, the Navy base down the road has more appointments. But what they have stopped doing in almost all of the personnel offices is there's almost no walk-ins anymore. At least at Tyndall, there's 2 days where they'll take walk-ins. In the old days, you used to just walk in, put your name on the list. You might wait 10, 15 minutes, but there's no people anymore. They've cut so many people and doing jobs like that everything is by appointment. And it's crazy because it's a centralized website now that you go to that website and then you tell them what your zip code is, and it takes you to, it'll give you a list of the closest places, which is kind of cool. But it's appointment, dude. You gotta.
I'll tell you what, it's got like that over here because we have the National Health Service. Well, I've got private medical insurance which I've had from the military. It's called Bupa.
Yeah.
But I've got Bupa, but I have to pay extra to get the house checked.
Booper?
Fine. But
it's called Booper?
Yeah, BUPA. I don't know what it stands for either.
Boopa?
Yeah, Bupa. Google it. Einstein knows about it.
All right, all right.
But I've always had to pay extra for the house job. I got into the military and I've just continued it. I mean, it costs a fortune, but
Yeah.
it's well worth it. But your first point of contact for any medical is the NHS, and then they will then feed you to your private medical insurance if it gets a bit expensive. They will
Right.
treat you to a point, the NHS, and then they go, no, you need to use your insurance,
Right.
which is fine. But now, to use the NHS, it's a central website, like you're saying, and you can do everything else. So, like, I needed repeat tramadol and diazepam, repeat prescription. So I went on the centralised site, put all my details in, blah blah blah, password, all that sort of thing. Reordered all this like heavy opiate medication.
Yeah.
I'd never heard anything. So I had to phone up. I phoned up the actual doctors here, and they went, "Oh yeah, we've just seen that. Sorry, we didn't action it." I was like, well, "What's the point in having a centralised system then if you're not going to action it?" So I've just walked in.
Yep.
But it's crazy. Your daughter's going to have to go through all that again to get in 2 weeks' time.
Well, like old Brute said, we walked right in. There was nobody in there, and we said our name, like, oh yeah, and we went right back. And I mean, it was done in 10 minutes, so that part was fine. What was funny though is nobody else was in there. They could have had 4 walk-ins in the time I was there, and they could have taken care of all of them. You know, like there's nothing going on in there. So they have built this little empire where they just don't really have to do a whole lot. At least they just spread it out over the day. So I don't know I just thought it was funny. They're going to do a freaking ID for 2 weeks. I thought they'd say, well, get your paperwork and come back or whatever. But she's like, oh, she's quite happy just to make a 2-week ID. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Well, for me, it would have been, yeah, we'll do your 2-week ID, but you won't need to come back. We'll just automatically renew it for you. Because nothing will have changed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, that's a good question. No, they have to because the date's on the ID. So yeah, they're going to have to issue a new one. And to be fair, they didn't have the paperwork they needed. That's their rules, right? They needed that freaking letter that has that date, so that then they can go, I have the letter, I have put the date of the expiration for this card at that date. I get it, but it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, subjects du jour. Watt's 13th birthday, man, coming up in August, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey.
And my understanding is, as little understanding as I have of anything, let's go over here. Naturally, that doesn't work, because why would it? What the? Oh, for goodness sake. What is happening here? I don't know. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Cat knows.
Where the hell? This is hard. All right, there we go. So we'll just go through this in no particular order, guys, because there's a few things in here that we're talking about. To include, will robots become more prevalent in casinos? Discuss.
She will. Do you not know this?
This is a paid. This website gets paid, I guess. Probably get money from this company that, if you click these links, it's basically advertisement for online casino stuff, for online gambling. So it's got all these. So they have these kind of goofy. Sometimes it's history. Sometimes it's crap like this. Will robots become more prevalent? Blah blah blah. It just cracks me up. The Object 752.
Yeah.
Tier 9 Russian auto-loading heavy. I for one, Pilgrim, am glad that we're getting another auto-loader. I think we're kind of short on those, don't you think?
I think what they should be happening, Guido, is that they should go back into the annals of time and redo all the tanks and make them all auto-loading.
All of them.
800
Everything.
of them. Yeah.
Everything should be an autoloader.
Everything should be an autoloader.
I don't understand why we don't have rockets on this thing.
Yep. Rockets and autoloaders.
Rockets and autoloaders. So it's a 3-round clip, magazine, whatever you want to call it. Fairly low. Actually, this is... Oh, no, that's right. So the pen standard is 240, which is kind of low for a heavy at tier 9, and then 310 for gold APCR. So this is built for shooting gold. naturally.
3 rounds. 3 rounds
Yeah.
of gold at every clip. Yeah.
They slowed it down a bit. I guess it was too mobile. We'll get to the more stats in a minute, but yeah, so this tier 9, I don't know what would it be. Maybe another battle pass tank or something. Maybe it's a ranked, whatever the ranked is called now, onslaught gift, or I don't know. They renamed the Monkey King to King.
Did they?
Yeah,
Well, they are.
I don't know if I have that tank.
Oh,
Tier 10
well,
medium,
there you
right?
go. What? It's a 1-2-1B, isn't it? So
Yeah, it's Chinese.
it's only a skin.
Yeah, I don't have that. But it's a permanent skin. That's not something you can take. It's an actual separate tank, right?
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's a separate tank.
So let's go. Let's go here. I'm gonna add. Sorry, I'm over in the garage for a second here, guys. I'm gonna try to find this thing.
Right, Grumpy Old Man, Grumpy Old Man got nothing for the Arnie birthday thing. Just logged in, got nothing. That
What?
right.
Who got nothing?
Grumpy Old Man.
I
Just
think you
logged in.
probably already have it, Grumpy. Go into your awards. I'll show you in just a second. Yeah, it is just King. It is just King. There it is. King.
Well, there you go. I wonder if they found that the term monkey was offensive to somebody and they decided to drop it.
Well, that's exactly what the write-up says over here. Monkey King was renamed to just King. We suspect it was due to players getting offended by the Monkey King name. Now, why are you offended by Monkey King?
No idea.
Seriously.
No, you know, I don't know. Maybe this is a grumpy old man thing to say, but it's going to be the death of everything, really. All this wokery. It's
Well-
an absolute nightmare.
In the States, I have a decent idea of why maybe people would be offended by that, but it's such a leap of several levels to get there that
Get there,
if
yeah.
that's what's on your mind, you're the fucking problem.
Absolutely.
Not
If
the-
you
not
walk
the-
around with that. Yeah.
You're the problem,
Yeah.
not the name
Yeah.
of some tank.
No.
There is a historical figure in China, the Monkey King. This is a well-known
Yes.
thing. It's
Yes.
has nothing to do with you, dude. Nothing to do with you. It was named after a Chinese figure.
Yeah.
So get off your frickin' high horse and shut your face.
Yes. Exactly.
And I try not to get into that stuff too much on the channel. I'm probably going to get deplatformed now or something. It's ridiculous. It really
But
is.
no, I wouldn't imagine you'll get deplatformed because there's a lot of people out there saying stuff on Twitch that
Just-
is way, way further out there.
How that even now? Okay, let's back off the ledge a little bit here. I don't
Yeah.
know why it got renamed. That was speculation on a third-party site.
Yeah.
You're never going to find out. We'll never say why. But
No.
the assumption you have to have based on the temperature of the water is somebody complained about it for some reason.
Yeah.
From my myopic US view, I sort of have an idea of what it might be. But honestly, in an international game, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's offensive in Belarus for another reason. I don't know. I have no idea.
No. No.
I don't know.
I mean, we're only assuming, and assuming is a dangerous thing to do, but assuming on the basis that experience tells you that the assumption is pretty much right,
Yeah.
you know, or thereabouts. But yeah,
Pig's
it's
got
like anything else, isn't it? You know.
Pig's got a good question. Pig's like, I'm madder that they just reskinned a 121B and called it something different.
Yeah, well, there is that. Yeah, that's why I don't go for all the. I mean,
It's a good question.
T34B.
Yeah.
Who? It's a T34.
IS6B. How many of those are there? Got to be a dozen.
don't know.
Got to be a dozen.
I don't know.
Because there's the M449 and the Liberté, and then
Yeah.
there's the
Yeah. Yeah.
there's the Patriot and the T26E5.
Yeah.
There's
All the
two.
variants of the 1357.
There's two Type 59s, two versions
Yeah.
of the 1357. Yeah, there's multiples. That's funny. I must virtue signal internationally. I'm taking this international, fella. Anyway, so there you go. They renamed it. I don't know why. I know why, but I don't know why. There's a Watt Asia preview. Let's just take a real quick look at this because I haven't seen our preview advertised yet. So that's not it. I don't want Word. I want that. There we go. Arcade cabinet overwhelming fire, which is some like auto cannon event in arcade cabinet in case you want to play a mobile game on World of Tanks kind of idea. So knock yourself out. Steel Hunter Classic is coming back. Remember, this is Asia, guys, so this is speculation on our part. I'm just looking at this. It's also a third-party website, so take it for what it's worth. But there's apparently 2 versions or 2 different days of this going on. There's a bunch of sales. I'm not going to worry about those. Top of the Trees, the 110E4 and Bat Chat, if that's what we get. I don't know. New token store mechanic. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I do know what's going on with that. I do know look at this. I just noticed it. Watch and earn Twitch drops tokens in exchange for in-game goodies. Players with Watt Premium account get more tokens from each completed mission. Well, wait a minute. What about Watt Plus? Do you get more?
Yeah, you get double.
Yeah. Some pigs are more equal than others.
Yep.
So if you got premium, but if you get Watt Plus, then do you get more than premium? And what about Watt Plus times infinity?
Yeah.
What happens when you have that?
Yeah, but you got to have the 5 keys to be able to claim it.
Somebody, let me just do this real quick. Somebody was asking about the Iron Arnie stuff. So the way I figured that out, guys, whether I got it or not, because I know that there's a medal involved with it. So I just slid down to the other medals or whatever it's called, Special. This is it right here, Achiever, with the little weight. So if you have that in your medals, you sometime along the way when you logged in, you got all the goodies. So it's sort of an assumption on my part that you got them, but I'm assuming if the medal showed up, the rest of the goodies showed up. So that's how you know if you got it, guys. It's probably already it's already been chucked into your depot, into your depot. All right. What else we got going on here?
Well, let's I don't know.
These are more sales. Steel Hunter Classic and the arcade cabinet overwhelming fire. So that's kind of what's coming up in August, other than the birthday. So the 13th, there'll be that as well. Usually they do a garage, I think, and there'll be goodies involved and probably things you can buy.
Yeah, they'll have that interactive. Well, it's not quite interactive, but they'll probably have that garage that shows Minsk.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. What did they do last year?
Can't remember.
I think they had it. I think
it was Minsk because it was the river, wasn't it?
Yeah. Top of the Tree. This is the same rumor. So this is a Bat Chat and 110E4. There you go. 13th birthday gift is this guy. At least that's the rumor. A AMX 13 FL11. Just a pretty, standard looking kind of. I don't know. I have no idea if it's an auto cannon, auto loader. I would imagine so, but maybe not at tier 5. Not sure if it's cyclical or if it's an auto.
Yes, guys, they look like a North Korean general. What about that then?
Hey, don't kid yourself. Our people look like North Korean generals. Have you seen any of the senior?
Yeah, but you've got demarcation line, haven't you?
What?
You've got like operational medals, and then below that, I went to the cookhouse to get me breakfast medal. Don't you?
Are
you know what I mean? You've got,
are
like,
you insulting the I went to the cookhouse and got me breakfast medal?
Exactly. You've got like proper ones, and then there's a line, and then there's like, I flew over a war zone at some point.
Do you have any idea how dangerous it is to eat in the chow hall sometimes?
I can imagine. Yes, in a U.S. chow hall, it's pretty dangerous.
Dude, you got medals for sitting on your ass. You got medals for sitting on your ass in another country. You got medals for being within 5 million miles of a war zone. You got medals for starting wars in random places that we didn't need to get into. You got medals for...
Landing on Mars? Did you get that one?
I got a medal because something landed on Mars once.
On Mars? Yeah, there you go. Oh,
Dude, it's gross. Go find a historical picture of Ike Eisenhower, 5-star general. He's got like 3 ribbons.
Yes. He's
You know,
right.
it's a 5-star, and he's got three ribbons.
Yeah.
You go find our 4 stars now. They have an enlisted guy standing next to them to carry the rest of them. He's got 2/3 of them. The enlisted guy's got the other third of his medals on his chest. He's the medal bearer.
Yeah.
You used to have cup
General's
bearers.
medal bearer.
Yeah, I used to have cup bearers. Now it's a medal bearer because it's too heavy for the general to carry.
We've still got, talking about things like that, we've still got what they call stickmen. And stickmen are, and I know this is very British, but stickmen have a little satchel on their backs, right? A little, all highly polished on their backs. And in there are various accoutrements for the officer of the day, including
Teabag.
pardon?
Sorry, go ahead. I'll stop interrupting.
Including the ability to carry the officer's swagger stick everywhere he goes. So he has a little enlisted man, not in all regiments, I must add, but the highbrow regiments, the guards and the cavalry and all that, they have a stickman who walks around with a little satchel, like a little schoolboy, all highly polished, with things inside the satchel which nobody knows what's in there, and he carries the swagger stick for the whole.
Oh, so the stick's not in the satchel. He's just carrying the officer's.
No, he has to carry it.
And the officer just reaches out and grabs it from him and whacks somebody with it?
When he feels like he needs a swagger stick, yes, when he needs to indicate, because that's the finger of scorn, and that's an indication. So when he needs to indicate, he gets the swagger stick off the stick man, and he indicates with his stick. You, young man, needs to get a haircut. Oh, here you go.
So if he points, that's
finger of scorn.
You did wrong.
Yeah, that's a finger of scorn. That's an indication.
But if he wants you to go there, if you
exactly. When you instruct,
yeah.
When you're in the classroom and you stood there as the instructor,
yeah.
And you go, the geezer knows he's got to stand outside the classroom because he's really effed up. But if you do, he knows he's going to get a question. It's an indication. You, answer me this question.
We don't have that. Yeah, I think we just point. Yeah.
Oh no, that's a finger of scorn. That's terrible. It's a wag. Yeah, you wag at your troops, don't you? Oh, naughty, airman.
That's pretty funny. I wonder if the first time Brits come over for some of our classes and things, and they see an instructor get up and start pointing at people, they're initially they're probably like, "What the?" And then they realize it's just.
They're going to go outside now and stand out
yeah,
the door.
And they just realize, no, it's just a different culture. I like the finger of scorn, man. I may start using that. I'll start.
Indicate.
I'm like you, yeah, you
yes,
have a, yeah.
Indication.
You.
That's the one. You muppet.
Speaking finger of scorn, I'm driving from Philadelphia to Ocean City, so New Jersey. And the kids are in the back. I got the little SUV dude. We're driving along, going out. I rented a car for the week so I can move the family around and everything. And I'm merging into. Obviously, I've never been on this road. It's the Atlantic City Expressway, as it's called. It goes from Philly into Atlantic City. So I'm merging onto that, and this car comes screaming behind me and swings around like, holy shit. The lady goes by, and she's like, my son's watching it, right? And I'm kind of watching as she goes by. I'm like, let's see what happens here. As she goes by, she's driving, right? So she looks to the right and takes her hands off the wheel and goes like this. And her car starts to swerve, and she grabs the wheel. And my son's in the back. He's like, that lady just gave us the double bird, Dad.
Dear.
And I'm like, brother,
Oh, man.
you're on the East Coast, all right? You're no longer in the southern states where hospitality and manners are still somewhat in vogue. This is the East Coast. These people don't give a damn.
There's no ladies or gentlemen on the East Coast.
Yeah.
For you, I have heard in Florida that if that had happened on the freeway in Florida, somebody might have pulled a 38 special out of the glove compartment.
Yes.
And give you the what for.
And it'd be well deserved because it's probably some New Yorker.
Yeah.
It's probably some New Yorker down on vacation. Unless he's in a great big old lifted
dude.
truck, and then you know it's a redneck, and then you know what you're dealing with, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
everyone is sensible enough not to bring out any kinds of items like that because they know everyone's got items like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. When you get like a Remington pump action pointed into your face.
All right, where were we?
I don't know. I don't know.
Arnold's turning
Subject to
76. Heated battles. So old school Steel Hunters coming back. All right, great, yay!
Interesting.
Oh, good.
Yay. Mhm. Yeah.
Bah.
Yeah. How excited can we be about that?
Well, you get 550 bonds out of it. Excuse me. Some PRs, it looks like. Some directives. Universal manual. And let's just keep putting experimental equipment behind stupid event walls. That's a great idea. Let's have things that people don't like to play, but then put experimental equipment behind that wall, so if you want to have that, you have to play it.
Yeah. Yeah. They do it all the time. Now it's standard for wargaming, isn't it? It's all about the money. It's not about the player.
Yeah. Diablo, people film themselves. Yeah.
That's a good point, Diablo.
Yeah, that would not go well at a military base because, first of all, you're not supposed to be filming to begin with. So you're going to get your phone confiscated and probably smashed into a million pieces. And that will happen first before they even worry about it.
Yeah, be like, okay, you point your camera, and I'll point my M4 at you, which is gonna come off better here.
Yeah.
Me with my M4 or your camera.
So yeah, Steel Hunter, whatever. I mean, I know there are some people, and there may be even some watching, which is fine. If you like it, good on you. Not that my approval of you liking it matters shit anyway, but go for it, enjoy yourself. I don't particularly care for it. I do. It annoys me that this whole improved equipment is behind that.
Yeah, they do it all the time, though, Guido. Now it's almost standard now.
Yeah.
Everything's behind a paywall.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, you don't have to pay it. This one's
Well,
actually.
I know, but
I know what you're saying.
figuratively.
This one's a play wall,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
It's
With
a
an
play
L.
wall.
It's a play wall.
Yeah.
You have to play that
Yeah.
mode to get there.
Yeah.
I've
It's
seen
just
those.
Frustrated.
I've seen those Diablo. Yeah, it's like the sovereign citizens and then other people trying to make content by bothering cops. You know the one guy. I don't advocate violence. There's a guy though that I would like to see. How do I put this without being evil or mean? I would like to see him put in his place. It's the guy that harasses people who don't put their shopping carts back. I'm getting a lot of feedback from your thing there, Pilgrim.
Oh, sorry. Let it go. Is that better?
Yeah, so his gig on TikTok and YouTube and whatever other platforms he puts these videos on is he will come up if someone takes a shopping cart, puts it out of their car and kind of leaves it there, doesn't take it back or put it in the little shopping cart thing. He starts to harass them, and he's got these stickers like he does several versions of this, but one of them is he's got these magnetic stickers that say something about not putting shopping carts back or you're an asshole. I don't know what it says. And he flips it onto their car and harasses them. And he's always harassing people who you look at him, you're like, you know that they're not going to be able to do anything to him. Like he
I
never.
was just about to say that.
Yeah.
He's picking on here.
Yeah, he never harasses anyone that looks like might be able to catch him or deal with him. You know.
Because I would take his magnetic disc and insert it somewhere where the sun doesn't shine. I really would. I'd take my trolley back, but at the end of the day, if I decided I wasn't going to, and he appeared as if by magic, poof, with a little
Yeah.
magnetic disc and attempted to attach it to any part of my property or belongings or myself, I would certainly insert it very deeply somewhere where
Yeah.
he would never see it again.
And I am completely on board with what you're saying, Einstein and Zemke. You should take it back. I do generally take it back. I have been known on occasion to not, based on circumstances, in a hurry or whatever. That's not necessarily an excuse. So I can't say I'm 100%, but I would say I'm pretty much higher percent than a lot of people. But that's not the point. Like
No.
you don't know what that person's dealing with, and they may just be an a-hole.
Yeah.
Noted. You should take it back. But the problem with his content is he doesn't quit, and he's expecting to get that reaction to build his content. Right? He's not crusading for good or anything. He's trying to build content. Yeah.
No. And actually, he's denying somebody employment by doing that, because the man that walks, or the lady who walks around the car park collecting all the trolleys and bringing them back, that's their job. So he's now taking that job away from that person because he's forcing people using magnetic.
Well,
stickers
he
to
wants
take
them
their
to.
trolleys back.
He wants to, like you have the same thing there. There's places in the parking lot where you can put the trolley, and then the workers will come get it out of that. You don't necessarily have to take it all the way back.
Yeah.
It's just irritating to me the way he goes about it, and then he's creating content, and then the whole virtue signaling. You know, I'm crusading to fix this wrong. You know, dude, you're a goof.
Yeah. But he must be making money off it somehow, YouTube videos or whatever.
Yeah.
But just go and take your face for a poo, please.
Well, it's like that Mizzy dude in your country.
Yeah.
Just walks
Yeah.
into people's houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that would be a problem.
That would seriously, if it
That would-
happened here, irrespective of what laws
Yeah.
that he thinks that is protecting him, he would
Yeah.
find out very quickly, very differently.
Yeah. And the thing is, once again, they always pick on people that aren't capable or don't look
Yeah, exactly.
like. So it's kind of like a predator out there looking for the weak to prey
Yeah.
on. People who do
Yeah.
beat up people or whatever. They never go after anything that can be a threat to them. They're always going after the weak. And it's
So that and that makes for the film or for the video that he
Right.
posts up. You know what I mean? Because
Yep.
he's only doing it. He's not doing it for any morality. He's doing it because he's making money out of it, or she's making money out of it.
exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
Oh my!
All right,
God.
so Object 752, I said we'd have the numbers. Here's some of the numbers on this thing. Is that what the heck is going on here? Oh, did I just, no, there we go. All right. So the damage is 390. Remember, this is a 3-round clip. So it's got some kind of 122 on it. 240, 310, we talked about that. The shell velocity is pretty low, really low for the standard round. The APCR is better at 1200. The reload time for all three is 34 seconds. And I'm pretty sure this is an auto loader, not an auto reloader. That would make sense because they're not showing the other time. So it's a 34 second for all three. The reload time between shots is 3.2, which is pretty long, actually. The aim time is atrocious at 3.4. What has a 3.4? Like a KV2? I don't know. What's this?
Yeah.
What's this BZ?
Well, yeah,
The BZ's.
yeah, possibly,
This doesn't have
yeah.
it. Well, the BZ seems atrociously long, and it's 2.69.
Yeah,
This thing is 3. That's horrible. 3.4. That's horrible. Dispersion's 0.42, so it's a derpy gun. Theoretically, a pretty good burst damage, but you're going to take at least, if you fired as everything was ready, 6.4
Yeah.
seconds to get all three down
Yeah.
range.
yeah. You can't. I mean, it's like any of these. You can't really sit out in the open. Mind you, look at the armor profile on it. Irrespective of what the stats say, when you look at the picture of it, you can pretty much, if you scroll down to the picture, you can
Yeah.
pretty much say that it's going to be, it's going to be one of these OP armor.
Well, the
Not saying
turret's
it's certainly a
nice.
tank, but I think its armor will be.
Yeah, turret's 330. I don't know what the weak spots look like. Looks like it does have a fairly significant tumor on the turret, but it's 195 on the whole with angle. That's pretty dang good. It only has 30 rounds. That's not very many.
Not many.
What's the
That's
depression?
10 reloads. That's a game full, isn't it?
-8 gun depression, of course.
Of course.
The one weakness Russian tanks were sort of known for, thing of the past. Now we're just giving them -8 because Wargaming can't justify quite -10 yet. They're just gonna make it -8.
Yeah, they'll just yeah, you know it. I mean, I played that 705 the other day, and it's abysmal. It hasn't, especially over the front, it has no gun depression at all. 6, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Those are the codes. The codes are right here, but none of these work. I tried all of them. Sub watt, watt better. I think those were the first 3 for the YouTube thing. And that's pretty much that, man. That's all I got on that stuff. What else we got, Pilgrim? We got the 13th birthday, Steel Hunter. I think the Brit tanks are in the next update. We talked about that right before we went off to vacation. And
KGB's in the house. Haven't seen KGB for ages.
It's happening, man.
Yeah, Gator. I see that.
Oh, I'm not saying it's the best deal, but it's just that Russian heavies tended to be -6 or -5. You know, now they're creeping up to everything's just going to be. But that brings us to the subject, though, of my rage quit. Wrapping this around to the beginning, bringing it full circle, is balance in this game, man.
Yeah. Yeah, what balance?
Yeah. I talked a bit about it before I rage quit. I've always tried to be, I mean, I'm definitely a fan of the game. I still am for the most part. Tried to give Wargaming the benefit of the doubt in a lot of cases. But the fact of the matter is, and I know there's guys out there going, Guido, you're really late to this. And I am to some extent. But honestly, they just don't care about balance.
No.
No, they don't care.
No. I don't think. I think at some point there was an intention to try and make it work right, but I think now the complications that come with trying to balance every tank within the game is too big a deal, and they've decided to shelve it and just ignore that problem and not talk about it. It's become the child in the attic, hasn't it? That's what it's become.
Well, I think it's slightly worse than that. I mean, yes, I agree with you that the balance thing is difficult just based on the sheer number of tanks, which we've talked about in the past. But my issue with it right now is the complete refusal to balance clearly overpowered reward and.
No, they won't touch them. They won't touch them. That's where the money is, Guido.
Right.
The tech tree tanks, they can balance them all day long, nerf them, whatever they do, and then it looks like they're doing something, but they're not.
Yeah. So I mean,
Zemke, we didn't.
What's that?
Zemke thinks that him and I nearly carried that game. We sort of hung it out a little bit, but I'm not sure we nearly carried it.
So let's see, get this thing going here. This is just every tank in the game, and all of the top in win rate. Is that what I have it sorted by? Yeah. 279 early. Reward. I think that's a reward. 114 SP2. I don't remember how we got that. The 260 is a campaign tank. Somebody's playing the KPZ-07 PE, by the way. Interesting.
Yeah, somebody is.
So that thing's out there somewhere in the wild. Probably super testers. The 268-4. Probably the last high-profile tank they messed with. They theoretically nerfed it, and it's still one of the highest win rates and one of the most played tanks. Look at the T-22 even is up there, supposedly nerfed. Now it doesn't get played much. Then we get into some tech tree tanks. But if you look at it, it's just, I don't know, man.
Well, you look at the first set of tech tree tanks. That's fine. It looks like
actually these are only
the
tier
bracket,
10s. Sorry,
but look at the difference. Look at the actual figure difference.
Yeah, those are only tier 10s. So here's every tank in the game. I said that wasn't. That was only tier 10s. But so this paints the picture right here. Just look at this. The Key Ho, that's a tier 4. Panzer 38 tier 4, 38T tier 3. That's a tier 4, tier 3, look at this. Where do we find the first Super Conqueror? Oh, T-21's actually a tier. Wait a minute, this is not sorted correctly. What am I doing here? There we go. That's better. There we go. Same story. Tier 3. The Seal Clubber tanks, right? The known Seal Clubber tanks. 3 and a 4, a 3, a 4, a 4. Everything else is premium or a reward. A 2, a 4, a 2. I mean, when are we going to get to the first tech tree tank of any note that's not a tier 4 or lower? The Cheeto SP. Good point, Cliffy. 100%. A lot of that could actually be boosted by playing on it. Although this is EU server, so but it's still seal clubbing. It's good players at good players at low tiers playing low tiers. So they're good at low tiers playing low tiers. Yeah. The first tank of any height, I guess, or any depth into the tech tree is the Cheeto SP. And then we got a 2, a 4, a 2. I mean, this is not balance.
No.
There it is. The 268 finally makes a showing all the way down here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even. And a lot of these guys at the top can also sort of be discounted because these are sort of one-offs. Although the Panzer 35, S35 is played quite a bit. But we get down into some of these others that are more commonly about right here, about the 279 early, because the Sharino, I don't even know what some of these are, to be honest. The 52 CS52C. There are some tanks in here because this is the EU server. There are some super tester tanks here that virtually nobody has. The Udarny, so it's not played by much, and it's all super test guys on EU.
Yeah.
Let's see what it looks like on NA actually. So for NA, that's a different kind of story here a little bit, isn't it?
The question is, and really it's not a question that I would ever pose to myself, is do you join this gang or do you still do what you do?
Yeah, well,
now,
I mean,
personally, I still
that's my frustration.
I join this gang.
That's my frustration. I just do what I do. So I'm over here with the my 100 battle challenge. I'm playing things like the Rack and the Sturb 81 and the Foch B, and the Iron Arnie and Chrysler are both good tanks, so they're doing well. The frickin' FE 201, the TNH, because I want to play all the different tanks. It's a hard one, right? Because if you wanted perfect balance, every tank would have the same stats.
And I understand that, but that would be. We know that the outcome of each game would be too predictable, I would imagine. Well, it then becomes skill based, but the beauty of the game is that each tank is an individual. Each type of tank, should I say, is an individual play and style of play, which makes it far more enjoyable. If everything was the same, it would be a skill-based thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I love it, because you can go from, I don't know, a tier 6 Sherman or a Sherman variant to a big old Polish, heavy at tier 9, 10, and have a totally different game each time. So that's why I enjoy it. But within those classes of tanks, there has to be an element of balance, purely because it's so pigging frustrating to be completely wiped out by an overpowered tank that just pops its head around the corner, snap shoots you, when you lose an 800 HP.
Yeah.
Bollocks.
Yeah, the TNH is good, Deathmane. You're right, and it's a top 10, and it's a tech tree tank. It's certainly top 10 at tier 9, but I think we can all agree that most of the top 5 spots on just about any tier are occupied by premiums or reward tanks, and specifically there are several problematic ones that need to be debuffed, need to be nerfed. And that process is going to be ongoing because once you nerf something, something else will rise to the top, and you'll have to kind of go after that too. But most games do that; they have a cycle, and it irritates people when their really good tank or their really good thing gets nerfed. They get mad, but the developers say the right thing in terms of we're doing this for the good of the game. We have to do something about, and then it also makes the gameplay stale because you see the same damn things over and over again.
Yeah.
So if you nerf some of those things and something else rises to the top, that's fine. It's a different tank.
Yeah.
Maybe it changes the gameplay a little bit, but really things have metastasized so badly in this game right now. You know?
I mean, Haber makes a good point there. If the tech tree tanks, if the tech tree tanks were good, nobody. I mean, why buy the premiums? Nobody, unless you're a collector, you wouldn't buy the premium because remember when premiums were slightly less good than the tech trees.
Right.
Remember those days?
Yeah.
People still bought them.
Yeah. Well, because they were grinding because they gave credits and experience and crew experience, and people were used them to train up stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now people buy the premium tank because it's better than the tech tree.
Yeah. Well, and they got themselves into a corner on that because once you buy several for training, you don't really need more. You know what I'm saying? Training tanks. You've got a couple heavies for German heavies, and you got a couple mediums. So why buy another one? So then slowly, the premiums and the reward tanks got better and better, and then Wargaming realized, holy cow, we can put out a flavor of the month, and people just buy them up. Yeah. Because they want to stay competitive. They want to have a good tank. They don't want to get their face kicked in because they're playing a subpar tank.
Well, no, because it's frustrating. You go into a battle, you're facing, I don't know, a platoon of earlies or whatever it might be. Even though you don't go, bollocks, I'll just give up. In the back of your mind, you're thinking this is going to be a struggle to get anything out of this.
Right.
Because you know full well that it's a struggle.
Yep. And then the proliferation of autoloaders and big alpha damage guns. I mean, you got a tier 8 tank running around right now that drops 800-900 damage with a pen. The BZ.
I know. It's ridiculous. You could be in a tier 10 and see that.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. I've been absolutely nuked by those things.
Mm.
Anyway, I don't know if there's a fix that even if they started working on premiums and reward tanks, and I believe they should, it's not the one size fits all fix for the game.
No.
To some extent, the thing we hate to say, it is what it is. But it would be nice if they actually nerfed them a little bit, and mixed it up some. Let's try to manage your game a little bit, man. And I'll also say Matchmaker, and I think this is more a problem with the server numbers. And I don't generally complain about Matchmaker. I think it's right now it's as good as it's ever been, but it is sliding backwards a bit on NA because of the numbers. I'm seeing a lot of I'm seeing a lot of battles where you get one side gets 4 heavies at the top and the other's getting 3. I haven't seen that for a long time, but now it seems to be happening a bit. And they're the one and I don't know how you fix this with Matchmaker other than make special rules, but you spawn in, you're like, I got an OHO, a 65T, and me in a Chrysler, and a KV5. You're like, I got a pref, and I mentioned this kind of similar situation. I got a 65T, a KV5 as a pref tank, me and an OHO, and I look over there and they got a Skoda and a BZ 176. So their 4 heavies, if you looked at the stats, are all in the top 10 stat wise. Yeah. My 4 heavies, one of them's up there, and the rest are all at the bottom. You're like, this is going to be a struggle. We just plain have worse tanks. Yes, the players can make up for it, and maybe your mid guys and lower guys do really well, or whatever. But there's nothing in the Matchmaker to avoid that kind of thing. It goes a heavy's a heavy.
It can't go into that much detail, Guido.
Yeah. A heavy's a heavy, so it's like, all right, here's your 4 heavies.
A heavy, it's the class of tank. It's 4 heavies against 4 heavies, irrespective of what type of tank it is.
But it's frustrating if you know anything about how good tanks are. You're like, man, those are 4 really good tanks, and we have 4 mediocre tanks. Now the player has to come into account. The player has to play. You can still beat them and all that, but you already know that just from the start, in terms of the tank balance you're dealing with, you're already one step back. You're just hoping that you have better players or you have some better RNG or luck, and that's not a great feeling, really.
Yeah. Not at all. I mean, it's also then on top of that, and this is again selective on players, but then the deployment, and irrespective of we say, look, play your own game, do what you need to do. But when you look, and if the deployment doesn't really match what you've got, you know you're on a loser before you even get to your position.
Yeah.
You can almost forecast the outcome 1 second after the countdown when you see the deployment, and you just go, oh, this is going to be a loss straight away. And I'm surprised when it isn't. I get genuinely surprised when I see the deployment. I go, oh well, that's a loss, and we get one in 100 win. It actually, it's a surprise.
Yeah, I would. I try to stay away from saying that stuff predicts the outcome, but it certainly informs the difficulty or the challenge. Let's put it this way: it informs the challenge, right? So if you get some worse tanks up top, and I don't run XVM, but and then you realize I don't really have good players, and then you watch them deploy, and they kind of go to bad spots. You're like, this is already. To some extent, I enjoy that part of the game because I like to try to figure my way around it. But but if you run a long session, I tend to stop doing that, and I just start reflexively going to places, and then you start getting wrecked because you're not paying attention. And if your heavies all go camp and guard artillery, you need to change your gameplay a little bit. Probably you gotta come up with a better plan than just going to where the heavies are and being the only 1 or 2 guys there and getting rolled.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I get that.
But that's hard to do in long sessions to kind of continually keep that going. That idea.
Yeah, and also, you want out of 15 of the team, and you want out of 29 in the whole battle. So you can have an impact, but I don't think not even the best players in the world can carry 15 against 1. You know what I mean?
Which is why a lot of times you see a lot of those guys are extremely careful early on that they just don't go to those places.
No.
They're like, whatever. You go, if a couple guys want to go down to the heavy brawl and soften them up for me, I'll hang out back here a little bit, do some supporting fire.
You look at any of the top streamers, I have noticed, and I didn't realise for a long time, but I have noticed that they are very selective in their deployment, which is a good thing, because you should be selective in your deployment. And I think, and I'm not saying they hang back and let people take the hits, because that's not the case, but they
do. Yeah, I'll say it.
A lot more.
I'll say it. They do that, but they don't do it from the red line necessarily. They are far enough back that they can be effective and get away if they need to. Not always. I mean, they have losses too. They make mistakes and stuff like that. But I don't want to have better teammates than anyone else because I'm bad. That's right. Yeah.
I quite like. I said to you this, I think, in game. If I have a really good game, and I get like 5,000 damage and a couple of kills or whatever, we lose. If I'm like get 100 HP or whatever, if I have a really shit game, we tend to win. So I think I'll just go and commit suicide every time we play, and I'll have a win rate of 8%.
I wonder. I mean, I'm not advocating anyone do this, but I'm kind of curious how bad, and I've seen accounts that seem to do this, to purposely sabotage teams. Like,
I bet there's a bit of that. I can imagine there's a bit of it.
Some people might go, well, you just don't play, you just go drown yourself. Like, no, that's not necessarily, I don't think, the best way. I mean, you take a gun out immediately. And you wouldn't last long because they'd start to catch wind of that, theoretically anyway.
Yeah.
But there must be. I wonder what kind of things you would do if you were purposely trying to get below 30% win rate. And I don't think you probably can't get below 30. Let's call it below 40. You were purposely, because I don't think you can get below 30, even trying.
I think it'd be very hard to get below 30, even if you just parked your tank in the corner of the map.
Right. But below 40 for sure. Like how would you go about that to sabotage? There could be things like pushing people out and doing stuff like that, but I don't think you would last that long. Like, how would you?
You would have to basically turn your tank and put your backside to the enemy, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
or shoot at the enemy tanks, get a hull down position, for example, in the Conqueror, in a hull down position, but keep missing your shots.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying.
Just
I
fly
think,
to the left or right.
yeah, I think you need to go to like the important spots, but be completely ineffective and be in the way without blocking and stuff. Like act like you're playing, but never pin, never hit, never track, and then you have to wait probably for those. And if you could live to the mid to late game, then at that point, then you have to be completely ineffective. You know what I'm saying? You can't. And then if it looks like your team's winning, you got to make sure you get killed. You know what I'm saying? So that would be interesting. I have seen below 40 there.
There's people out there who do that. I'm not sure it's prevalent. I don't think it's like a lot, but I think there probably is people who.
There are some high number accounts that are in the high 30s and low 40s.
Yeah.
And it's pretty impressive that, and a lot of times it looks like they're playing, and it's almost like they're so bad that even their playing is. You know what I'm saying? You would think just sitting on the cap. Actually, sitting on the cap is more effective than they are, because sitting on the cap at least spots people going to the cap.
Yeah.
So
an AFK is better because you
right.
Yeah.
But they go to places that are so bad that they actually help bring the team down. Not just getting killed, just they're in a horrible spot somehow. You know?
Oh man.
Yeah, the maps are small. I am Banhammer, 100%. Yeah, be a normal tank and try to. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's true, Warfiend. And I think, that's actually a great point, because a lot of those people do tend to start barking in chat, and that does bring the rest of the team down. That's a good point. That would be part of the psychological piece of it. And most of those accounts that are that bad, that's how they seem to roll. They immediately start talking about, oh, we're losing, you guys are terrible. And then, of course, now everyone's yelling at them because they're wandering into the back or hiding out with Artie or whatever. So I think you're right. That's probably a big piece of it right there.
I think there's definitely for me personally, I don't do it, but there's definitely a good reason to turn chat off. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good reason. Who needs it? Because it doesn't matter. If you want to put in chat, hey guys, let's deploy properly. Well, what's properly? There's 15 different opinions there.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's not even worth typing in chat anything, because.
I will. I mean, if I'm on top of my game and doing the right things, I will try to often say where I'm going or say, hey, let's do this or whatever. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think that's better than. Well, certainly better to be a negative in chat. And I've thought about.
I'd probably just not.
I've thought about turning it off, but mid to late game you want it, because I have had plenty of games where mid to late game when things kind of slow down and we're all trying to figure out. You start, hey, I'll go. Hey, I'm going here. Hey, what do you see? That kind of stuff. And sometimes
it's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Sometimes you get that good info that you need.
Yeah. There's a good point. And there's a good point as well. Platoon of tough sniping seem like friends having fun. Again, you can get a platoon of, it could be kids, you don't know. But, three kids platoon up and they just want to, they mess about, you know what I mean? And so.
Yep.
It's not every battle.
Well, man, we've been at it for 2 hours, so I'm ready to roll, I think, here, unless anybody's got any final questions. Do you have anything else to throw out there, Pilgrim?
I took all your advice, guys. Thank you very much. When we talked, it must have been about a month ago now, about getting wireless headsets, and I got a 20% discount code this morning, so I went ahead and got the HyperX 2 wireless, which I think most people said to do, and I got near on $40 off the price, so that was cool. Thank you very much.
Yours are wired right now?
Yeah, it's a pain because my PC is this side, and then the wire has to run, because the wire's on the left. It runs around the table and then to the back of the PC, and it gets in the way of your legs. I keep kicking it out, and it's just a pain. So I'm gonna
There you go.
It'll be a lot better.
That's why I like these earbuds, man.
That's useful. But I've got weird ears.
You got hobbit ear. There's too much hair on them.
Yeah, I've got. Well, it's a hobbit ears, so nothing fits in these.
Plus your windsurfing accident, you nearly lost an ear.
Oh, gosh, that's bad. That's go and do some chores. Come on.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming. Much appreciated. Let's find somebody to. Raid here. Who we got?
Well, I'm not looking at. Yeah, Stack Up's doing Kingdom Hearts. World of Tanks is just kicked off, so you don't want to.
Yeah, we could raid
You don't want
them.
to rate them.
We could do. That'd be purely selfish, just in case somebody decided to follow. Where is Twitch? There we go.
There'll be competitions coming up.
Oh,
soon,
that's-
guys.
That's going to be the Million Pugs. That's going to be the Million
Oh,
Pugs.
yeah.
So yeah, go run that, and I think there's drops and stuff. In fact, I know there's drops and stuff and things and whatnot. All right, World of Tanks. What do we got here? Who do I know? Virtually nobody. English. There we go. English. No suggestions. Well, should we just go find the person with the fewest?
That'd be cool.
That's actually playing the game here. Anonymous PR87. This is always funny because we have rated people who were in mid rant of some kind at times. Anonymous _ PR87. All right, that's the guy. Let's go here. There he is. He's got one viewer. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. Unable to raid. Oh, no, that's not the guy. That is. Never mind. That's not the guy. Combat Wombat Areno. All right, that's the guy. Combat Wombat Areno. There we go. Is that going to work? There we go.
There you are.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming by. Have a fantastic rest of your Sunday. We'll see you on the YouTube channel this week. Hopefully I get to stream at some point. That's the plan. We'll see what happens. We're raiding now. Pilgrim, say goodbye to the people.
Back to the people.
Later, guys.